Enter, brute brothers. The savage lads bid you welcome.
Welcome to this video about this OTK monstrosity of a rhinar deck that I've been testing these past weeks that I want to use to win an armory. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We're playing rhinar, the backbone strapping for that instant energy and that one block. It has battle worn, so we can block those on-hit effects and still be able to use it for a little bit of extra energy. Sucks if you roll a 1, but outside of that it's pretty nice. Beaten trackers for that one block and battle worn, but also that reliable extra action point when you wanna swing big. What a pun. I have the gambler's gloves and the scab skins if I do want to gamble a little, but I don't like to play it in blitz, because if you roll a 1 and you gambler's gloves and you roll a 1 again, then you're basically out of the game. So I like the consistency of the beaten trackers. I know it has less block than the scab skins, but again. So I run beaten trackers and the Goliath gauntlet for that extra punch when I want to close out the game. Mandible claws for the Emperor and the Wizard matches, where I really want to go fast and wide. But mostly I like to go for the Ravenous Meat Axe, and I'll show you why below. Then I run the Skullhorn. Usually this build will go with the Crown of Providence, but I don't have one. So the Skullhorn comes in clutch in the Wizard matchups and the Runeblade matchups. Well, obviously you want one because the rune chants are coming for one at a time. But basically being able to press the button here in clutch to discard a card for an extra intimidate and then, you know, kind of like filter a card can be very nice. And it can be used to activate things like Massacre and things like Savage Beatdown in a pinch. So basically I run 2 Alpha Rampage. Basically any rhinar deck needs this. I run the Massacre. It's very nice. If you feel like you want to swing for the fences, you go Ravenous Meat Axe, draw a card and discard a card. Then you swing for 5, activate the beaten trackers, and then this comes in for 8. So that's a 13 damage turn with the trackers. This slot is actually kind of interesting. This is kind of the one slot that I experiment with. I've been trying Breakneck Battery, which I don't like. I've been trying Command and Conquer, which I've had some success with, but not really a lot. And now I'm trying Predatory Strike. It's very nice. Again, you can activate it with either Skullhorn or Ravenous Meat Axe. It says if you discarded a 6, then this has Dominate. So for the Bloodrush Bellows turn and the Beaten Trackers turn, it's like, or the Sandskit's Plants turns, it's a 2 for 6 Dominate, which I really like. I used to play Azalea, so the ability to dominate is something that I'm very keen on. But I play 2 Pulping, again, like 2 for 6, and with the consistency of this deck in terms of 6s, this is like a very high % chance of just being a 6 Dominate go again, which is nice for those wide turns. Savage Beatdown, like I OTK'd a Kano player at my LTS in like turn 0, which is so satisfying. So you can activate it on the Bloodrush Bellows turn, you can activate it on the Sandskit's Plants turns. It's like, it's such a broken card in Blitz, like 3 for 12. Yeah, it's, and obviously it discards an extra card, so usually when you swing this, the opponent will already have discarded 2 cards, so they'll be able to, unless they have like a defense reaction or like an immovable in Arsenal, like they will only be able to block half of this damage, which is just nuts. Savage Feast, again 1 for 6, get to replace the card you discard. Skullcrack, a 6 for 2, or 2 for 6. When you discard it, you get that extra energy, which is very nice when you're going these wide turns, when you have the random discards, just to have that extra energy. Swing Big, 8 damage for 2 resources. How can you not go for that. And with the Goliath Gauntlet, it swings for 10. Like when you have these turns, when you have extra action points, kind of bait them out a little with the with a claw or a meat axe, and then activate and then swing for 10. It's like, yeah. Wild Ride, again with the consistency of 6s in this deck, this will almost always be go again, which is super nice. Like going wide as rhinar just feels too good. Barraging Bighorn, like the extra chance if it comes later in the combat chain where you already have intimidated a bit, like being able to go wide, go again, it's like so nice. Beast Within, kind of like the Skullcrack. I usually it's mostly used for pitching right or blocking, but when it's discarded I do lose a life, which is dangerous in Blitz, but I do get the ability to draw that extra card, which is so nice. Bloodrush Bellow, you gotta have it. Like pitch with a blue, you have 2 resources floating, discard that 6, draw those 2 extra cards and just swing for a massive amount of damage. Pack Call, use it for blocking and to again assure the consistency of those 6s on top of the deck. It feels bad when you flip the top card and you actually draw like the Bloodrush Bellow or the Reckless Swing or whatever, but again with the consistency of 6s in this deck, the percentage is very low, so usually it'll just increase the consistency. Regenerate, the Reincarnate, yeah, usually just used for pitching or discarding, and it's nice that it goes to the bottom of the deck when it's randomly discarded. Swing Big, this is nice for the turns where you have the extra resources and want to go a little wide. I mean, 1 for 6 damage, it pitches for 2, it's very nice to have. Smash Instinct, you can use it for attack, but mostly it's just used for pitching. So here, most of these decks, they run Berserk, but I run Wrecker Rump, because usually I feel like Berserk takes away from the consistency of the deck, and I would never really be able to get it started, or I would discard it, or it would get flipped by Pack Call or whatever. So I just thought, okay, I'm going to add a yellow 6. More consistency in the deck, and just, yeah, I like it. So I play Barraging Beatdown, usually for pitching, but it can come in clutch sometimes for an extra Intimidate. Reckless Swing for closing it out once you get your opponent to 2, which you can relatively easily do within a few turns. Block with the defense reaction and then close out the game. Sandsketch Plans, to get extra action points and to activate the Massacre and the Savage Beatdown. Of course, you have to not discard it, but then it's like once you go, you go. And then of course Blue Wrecker Rump, you gotta have it. So I thought now we might look at a few examples of some of these despicable lines that you can do. You want to go through your cards as quickly as possible to get to the Bloodrush Bellow. So here I'm just going to play Savage Feast, and I do not want to activate my things yet. So got to draw a card, Bighorn, and this is actually, so since it only costs 2, usually you don't want to arsenal anything that costs more than 2. Usually you just want to wait to arsenal the Sandsketch Plans, the Bloodrush Bellow, or the Reckless Swing. But now we're just going to pass. So, okay, so we're just going to take the 2. So, and not block anything. So, this is a turn where we might be able to go wide. So let's just go Sandsketch Plan. Let's see if we can get that Savage Beatdown in hand. Okay, so now we've discarded a 6. And we have 2 action points. So what can we do? Okay, so basically, we could roll the Backbone. Okay, so we have 1 extra floating. That's not too good. Let's swing the meat axe here. Okay, so we actually hit the beast within, meaning that we got another action point. We have one extra floating. We still can't play Savage Beatdown. So we're just going to go boom. And we discarded the skull crack. So no. So we've already done 17 damage. Let's just Arsenal Savage Beatdown. So now we have the Blood Rush Bellows turn. Just gonna pass here. Let's see what we can do. Blood Rush Bellow. Pitching this. Do we want to? No, not to gain an action point yet. So now the Savage Beatdown has activated. So let's swing this. Let's go the Goliath Gauntlet. Savage Beatdown. Yes. Do we want to gain an extra action point? Yes, let's do that. So we're coming in for 16. And they will block whatever that they can block. And now we can swing the Ravenous Meat Axe as well for 7. So 23 damage in one turn if you're patient and wait for the Blood Rush Bellows. But basically you can see what kind of despicable things you can do. 23 damage in one turn, like that's just too good. Let me know what you think. Are you gonna wish me luck for the armory tomorrow? Do you think I actually have a chance at winning? Are there any improvements you would make to this deck? I want to know in the comments below. Remember, like the video, hit the subscribe button. See you guys in the next video.